Alrighty. New York City, 4080 performance. We're using the 135, the H135 from High Performance Group. I've also got the Samsung 3D New York scenery installed. I'm using the 145 because I'm using the 135 because the 145 doesn't perform as well in New York, but you can still get a really good experience using their free helicopter. Not to say that it doesn't perform great. I mean, it doesn't perform as well, and I kind of want to get the smoothest experience I can flying in between the buildings and such. So everything's on ultra, although I did turn down the clouds to high, I believe, just because we won't be flying in the clouds too much. We will be in between the buildings and whatnot. So far it's decent right now. No major hiccups or stutters. Maybe a little one on takeoff, but that was it. We'll do a little river run real quick, and then we need to slow the file down. We'll do a little river run, and then we'll get into the buildings. It's about midday with a few clouds on. So far pretty stable. We'll go down the East River here. Maybe even fly under the 59th Street Bridge. And we'll change this time of day as well. It's a little glare happening. But we'll just do this river run real quick. I think 40 feet should be fine. Yep. Alright, a little stutter right there, but gone just as quick. What I've noticed is that New York will initially start a little stuttery, and then after a couple of minutes everything sort of just settles in. And I get a really smooth flight. Seems to be settling in real quick right now.
Serpico drinks whiskey. Acknowledge last transmission.
Oh, relax.
Tower Serpico drinks whiskey frequency change.
Yep, pretty damn smooth so far. Haven't flown this 145 in a while. It's still fun. It's definitely a fun helicopter. Yeah, really smooth. And I'm flying in between the buildings of New York City. This is pretty much the biggest frame killer there is in this simulation. But we're chilling. Midtown generally seems to be the most demanding for me, but it's kind of just eating through it. No real... a little stutter right there, but not bad at all. Like, alright, another little stutter right there. Alright, stuttering a little bit, but back to smooth. Now, Central Park South generally tends to be a big problem area for everyone. So we'll do a little flyby there. I'm getting a little stutter now. Not gonna lie, but still smooth. Alright, so like right around here is where everybody, like, including myself, we all struggle with Central Park South for some reason. But it's not bad. Look at that. Not bad at all. Let's do a little time of day change because the sun is bugging me. We'll do the action pause. We'll do a little nighttime. Just because it's New York at night is great. We'll not make it super dark, but yeah, there we go. Because I think it'll just show up better in the video if it's not super dark. Look how smooth that is. Slow and low in New York City, in between the buildings. Oh, let me get rid of that thing. Yeah, pretty damn smooth. No real complaints. I mean, you know, outside of the occasional stutter, it is pretty butter outside of that. And, you know, it's not like I can fly anything and get this performance in New York. The 135 tends to be a little less processor heavy. Like I was getting a little stutter right there. Yeah, a little bit when I'm doing this big wide turn. But, you know, a hell of a lot better than before. I'm gonna try not to talk too much now. Just, not shake up my headset. Okay, so it's like, it's not perfect, but it is the best, smoothest flights I've had in New York are, you know, with the 4080. It's because it's the strongest GPU I've ever had, so makes sense. DLSS 3 ever comes out for VR, that'd be great. But DLSS 2 really really helps us out, especially in VR. DirectX 12 not so much for VR. For 2D mode though, DirectX 12 with frame generation, I was getting like 80 frames a second in New York City, 70, 80 frames, which is pretty unheard of for me anyway. Now with VR in the Reverb G2, I'm getting, you know, it's nice and solid. I mean, it is dropping a frame here and there, but it's not at all, like, it's been smooth for the last couple of minutes, honestly. Any shaking you're seeing is just me talking and moving the headset around while I'm speaking, but... And, you know, the bad translation between, 2D mode and trying to record VR just never translates all that great, but oh, a little stutter right there. Let's bring her in for a quick landing and then we'll do a little sightseeing. Okay, this 135 I'm not used to anymore. Oh boy. Alright, we'll turn the lights back on too, but... Oh, Nelly. Alright. Alright, settle down, settle down. We'll spiral in. Because I'm kind of committed now. I do love the helicopters though. They are so much fun to fly, and you can get in, you know, in the buildings and all that, and get up close to everything. Yeah. So far, so good. No real significant issues. Flying around in New York. I mean, it's not as buttery smooth as, you know, flying in the Grand Canyon or anything, but New York is, you know, has always been an issue. All the big cities, London is the never-ending load. Everything just seems to constantly be loading in London at all times. All right, let's change the lights again. Let's make it just a little brighter. Yeah. How about like that? Beautiful. Ooh. Stutter when you spin the camera around. But now it's gone. You know, like, definitely get those little stutters when I'm changing the perspective, the views, to the external view. And back inside, but you know, it only lasts for like a split second. It comes with the sim, it seems, just like the stutters at airports.
Clear to land runway 22, JetBlue 998.
Like, it's so annoying, but it is something we've all lived with.
The aircraft on final. Wind 283 at 4. Clear to land runway 22.
Yep, nice and smooth around Lady Liberty.
Clear to land runway 22.
Later, babe. Alright. Let's go do some more flying in the concrete canyons here. Maybe we'll make it a little brighter too. So it'll be a little dim between the buildings and all the shadows and everything. There we go. Daytime. Better to see all the stutters, but I gotta say, not many. Oh God. Whoops. That's what I get for changing views. Like, while I'm heading towards, like, a giant building. Alright, here we go. I used to live down here, in fact. My building, actually, is right here. There it is. It's right next to the hotel. I think that was a Marriott right next to me. So this right here, I used to live in this building right here. I used to take my dog down to that dog run right down there. Alright, let's get out of here. Oh, but even doing those maneuvers right there was pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. So I was doing the same flight in the 145, and right down here it would just chug. But the 135 is fine, no problems. 135 is just eating through New York City. And it's a cool little helicopter too. Look at this thing. Like, look at the performance. We are, oh, a little stutter, but again, I was changing views. But we're, yeah, we're just trucking along here in New York, no problems. Smooth as a gravy sandwich. we were gonna do some sightseeing. So the world famous Empire State Building. Countless movies have been filmed on and in this building. New York 1. And Times Square down here. Yeah, everything's really smooth. Quite good. The Chrysler Tower. Chrysler Building, excuse me. Chrysler Tower. Duh. Yeah, this is just butter smooth right now. No issues whatsoever. Oh, just made it. Alright, the Citibank building, interesting fact, is built on stilts. We'll even go down and check them out. There's 3 of them. And there's a main... There's 3 stilts, but there's a main giant support structure in the middle as well. Yeah. So, boom, these are the stilts that keep the Citibank building up. Crazy, right? Like, such a huge building. Oh, there's 4 of them. Alright, there's 4 stilts. And that main giant structure in the middle. Support. Oh, getting a little wind in here. Ooh, ho, ho. Alright, let's get moving here. Yeah, no performance issues right now. I mean, I'm actually pretty surprised it's running this well in New York. Again, not perfect, but pretty damn close. I mean, I've got ultra settings running 100% res. I am using DLSS 2, but and motion reprojection, but you know, everything looks great. It's running really smoothly. I'm getting no stutter whatsoever right now. Like, this is kind of crazy. Like, right up in Midtown, and just eating through. All photogrammetry. Now, you know, like, we'll probably get into a little stutter right here, but, yep, oh, a big one. Oh, big ass stutter. But you know what? I'm fine with that one big stutter rather than like 50 little ones throughout your flight. You know what I mean? Like, look how gorgeous that is, and You know, outside of that one big stutter, it's fucking butter smooth right now. It is so good right now. I mean, look at this. In between buildings, doesn't matter. Alright, I don't want to make this video too long, but yeah. New York City performance is damn good. Now again, can't perform this way with every aircraft, but you can get butter smooth performance in the city over New York City in VR. You know, just gotta you know, be reasonable with your expectations of this sim as well. It's only gonna get better. But yeah, it's great. Like, this is great performance in New York. Like, it's never been this smooth for me with my 3070, that's for sure. You know, I got decent performance out of it, but not to this level, not with everything turned to ultra. I couldn't even get to ultra with the 3070. I got 80% resolution on the headset with medium and some high settings, but and some ultra settings as well, but you know, I'm rocking all ultra right now and at 100% headset res. Those are those are the two major differences. Frame rates are the same because I'm locking them at 30 frames a second for the reprojection, but 45 frames I can't do for some reason. It won't reach 45 frames a second, even though I've gotten, you know, 90 frames a second, upwards of 90 frames, you know, just trying to squeeze out as many frames as I could from this thing. But in normal, regular flying situations, this thing doesn't want to hit. It'll hit 40, 45, but it won't be stable at all. It'll drop a lot, so I just kept it at 30. But at 30, it's a damn good experience at 30. I mean, I know it doesn't come through as well, but in the headset, everything's sharp, clear, and running really smooth. And this is New York. New York is a beast in the sim, but oh gosh, I made it, sucker. Not today. Not dying today. Yeah. City Hall right here. Or no, that's Gracie Mansion. City Hall's over there. We are in Tribeca. And just, oh man, it's super smooth. Just doing helicopter maneuvers around New York City. And you know, this is probably the hardest the 4080 has to work so far, because this is the most resource hungry game I have, or a simulation rather, sorry. But it is chewing through it. Pretty impressed right now. And again, you know, it's not like you can't get this performance out of other cards or whatever, but this is the best I've ever played this in this city. Like, this is the smoothest helicopter flight I've ever had in New York, ever. And the sharpest as well. Everything looks great. Reverb is a great headset for flight sims. And when everything's running right, man, looks gorgeous. Alright, we'll bring her down for a landing in, well, let's go uptown. Let's land her in Yankee Stadium, fuck it. Alright, a little stutter right there. Not too bad though. These high rises are insane. So skinny. And they're so tall. Like, they're taller than the Empire State Building. But their views must be out of this world, though, dude. Look at that view. Wow. Like, if you could have this view when you wake up in the morning, it's insane. So good. Probably not too much in rent either. Look how skinny this building is. It's crazy. Alright. I can't fly out there. But yeah, even hovering around Central Park South, I'm not... Oop, spoke too soon. Got a stutter. Probably gonna get more now. No? Meh. Another little one, but... yeah, it's pretty damn smooth, though. Outside of those, you know... and you gotta expect stutters in this sim. It's like, it's not like you'll ever have a flight 100% stutter free. But you could come close. You could come like up to 98% at this point. It's getting pretty good. Getting a little tiny stutters now, but again, nothing nearly as bad as it ever was before. Like, I'd say 95, 96% of this flight has been flawless. I think that's a fair guesstimation of the performance. I'm getting like tiny little ones right now, like, but they're not bad. And I think, yeah, like a little bit. But now they're gone. Alright, we might as well land at LaGuardia since we're right here. I mean, it's right over the river that way. So, we'll do a little Yankee Stadium fly by, fly in. And then we'll head back to LaGuardia. Oh yeah, there's that stutter. I got his little stutter at Yankee Stadium too, always have, but then it's gone. You know, you get a little one and then it goes away real fast. But yeah, it's not at all like you would never call that a bad experience. Like if I played this simulation for the first time and I just flew over New York like that, I would just assume that's how this game plays. It's not like, I remember the first time I flew in New York and I was like, ooh, ouch, yeah. I don't remember what I was flying, but it was not good. And I ended up spending like the next 3 days trying to smooth out New York without losing that much resolution. You know, at one point I settled for like 60% of the monitor of the headset resolution, and it played okay, but it just did not look nearly as good as everything looks now. I mean, all right, so there we go. New York City, nighttime, daytime, flew around. Pretty enjoyable. 95, 96, maybe even 97% stutter free. There were you know, uptown, there was definitely a little, like, series of stutters. But like I said, once you kind of fly around in New York for a minute or two, it kind of all settles in. And then it's super smooth. So you might go get those initial stutters, but then they just sort of mellow out to, you know, very few. And even my approach to LaGuardia was pretty damn smooth. I'm not even going to bother going to Kennedy because it's just, I know it's not going to be a good experience for me. But LaGuardia is alright. And New York City is now an enjoyable place to fly in VR anyway. Like, you know, in pancake mode, it was fine. Like, with the 3070, I can easily get like 30 to maybe even 50 frames a second in New York City. But in VR, it was a stutter fest. It was always not great. But all right, we're landed. Thanks for watching.